Alright guys, welcome to Heroes of the Storm Alpha. This is Jay here with Legendary Approach, and I'm here commentating on Toys' gameplay. He's going to be playing Zeratul, who's a melee assassin. Cool part about this guy is that he automatically cloaks while out of combat. He can blink in and out, kind of like shadow steps, and his difficulty is hard. So, very fun, exactly, is the result of that combination. That equation of words right there equals very fun. We're going to play in Cursed Hollow. This is cool. These little loading screens tell you the legendary power of each map, I should say. The magic power of each map. Every map you play on in this game will have some sort of bonus where you gather up materials or you gather up tributes, like this map, and then you get this really cool attack or really cool kind of like temporary passive ability. And so in this map, when you gather up the tributes, you're going to get a curse that is cast on the other team. So the first team to gather 3 tributes curses the other team, and what that does is it reduces their minions' hit points, which you're going to see, to 1. It reduces their tower's ability to attack and reduces the tower's health by half. So, if you time it right, make a big push with your minions, save your burst, and launch those tributes, and you will just decimate an entire lane. So we're going to drop to the bottom lane. This game is like League of Legends. If you've played League of Legends before, that's awesome. Personally, this game blows it out of the water for me. Now, it might not be the same for you, but when I played League of Legends, I didn't find it to be fun. Maybe I joined it too late, when there was already a community established, but the simplicity of this gameplay, the art design, the class mechanics, I actually really like it, and I find it to be enjoyable in a way that's different than League of Legends. And I don't know what that I guess what that is really, but for me, it's just the mechanics, the gameplay, the simplicity, and the artwork that just draw me in. It really reminds me of Warcraft 3. So here we're in the bottom lane. We have our friendly hero Malfurion. If you play World of Warcraft, you recognize him. Zeratul, I believe, again, is from StarCraft, so you might recognize him. Malfurion, I'm not sure what his class is. I would have to hazard a guess that it is support, because he can toss you heals. Now we're going up against Raynor right here, again from StarCraft. And Raynor's pretty cool. He's the class that you might want to play if you're first starting out. He's a super simple class in that it's a ranged class. So you can kind of snipe away. He's got a knockback. He's got a really cool ship that he can launch that's kind of like an orbital ship, but instead of orbiting it, it just follows one path. Now he's got 1 hit left, but for some reason he's staying close, so we're going to take him out right here. We can. He is down. And that was worth it, so we put him on a respawn. Now, if you see his... Well, I'll get back to it later, but there's a way of seeing when enemy teams are going to respawn. Now, I just noticed this, but as you level up, if you look at the top, you'll have a blue on the left and a red on the right. You'll have 2 little tiny glowing dots. I guess as your team levels, those dots move further and further to the right and to the left, respectively, and that's your resurrection timer. So for our guy that we just dropped, Raynor, he only had 5 seconds before he resurrected, but as the team levels up, he's actually going to have a longer and longer res. So if you notice, if you play this game, and you are, not dying until the end of the match, and all of a sudden you have a 60-second respawn, you're like, what the hell? I only died once. Well, that's not how it works. And I just figured that out now.
An enemy has been slain.
So again, we're just kind of messing around, showing you the class mechanics. What we do as this class, because it says it's hard, so if we can give you a little mentality on how we play this class. We really like to heavily rely on cloaking. It gives us this ability to jump in and jump out of combat, which a lot of classes kind of have something similar, but they don't have it where it's cloaking to the extent of you can do what we just did, where we can circle around and flank without anybody knowing. So we're actually pushing Raynor into Malfurion. We don't know what the hell he's doing, but that's AI for you. Normally the AI in this game is pretty reactive. You can close in on the enemy just like that, like we just did, where It looked like he was going to get away. He knocked us back, but we shadow stepped right to him. Now we're at low health. What do we do? Well, we run back into our gate and we grab one of these towers, which gives us mana and health back over time. It's got a 100-second, respawn, of which we've burned 10. So now we've leveled up. We're picking a new talent. We improved our cleave ability so that it does a bleed effect. So now it'll do a little bit more damage over time to targets. So now we're popping those little 19s over time, which is pretty cool. Now we're pretty much just waiting on tributes to pop up. What you'll notice through our gameplay videos is that large pushes are only made when you manipulate the map. So right now, sure, we're wearing away at the gate, knocking it down, making a push, that's good. But a large push isn't going to be made until we gather these tributes. Now we got a tribute spawning near us, so we're going to go grab it. If we can get away, if we can shadow step out. Look at that, just barely made it, and we're cloaked now, so they ain't going to catch us. Now if we can get to this, or anybody else does, fantastic. Uther's going to flip through his book there, find the right page, and get that tribute. Pretty cool, actually. Reminds me of, ooh, we've tagged Diablo. But he's escaped to his tower, not gonna get him. Yeah, that is true, and that's something I should explain. Our little ranged attack, what it does is it slows down enemies. As you see, we almost caught up to Diablo as he's running around. There are certain talent specs that you can get that will give you speed boost. We're going to choose Shadow Assault as our last talent for our hour. But to go back to it, and I'll explain what all that means. To go back to it, this talent allows us to fire a slowing, basically concussive shot, or some sort of like something that slows down the enemy. It allows us to do it while we're still stealthed. How overpowered is that? And also we could spec into it so we can get 2. On top of that, it does some pretty good damage. It hit for 300 right there. Considering we could do that and never come out of stealth,
An enemy has
you know, that's a quick little burst of damage you can combine for. Now he's probably gonna. There we go. Got him.
An enemy has been slain.
I was thinking that he was gonna knock back and try to retreat, but I guess he did not. All right, now we'll go back. I said R before. What we've done is we've talented into our last spell, Shadow Assault, which gains us 25 attack speed and 15 steal life, 15% life steal rather, on our attacks when we activate it. Now the way that the controls are set up in this game is that right click will make you move. That's what we're doing repeatedly. So click, click, click away. And the attacks are all mapped. You would think it's mapped to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is what I thought at first, and so I ran into this trying to attack and things were working, but it's kind of counterintuitive, and it's actually mapped to Q, W, E, R, and that last ability is a passive ability. You also have a Hearthstone, if you recognize it, on the right side, and you can mount, as you've seen us do plenty of times. You can mount in this game and run away. We are just... That was our Shadow Assault, so it's very similar to the Rogue spell, I forget what it's called, from World of Warcraft, where it just ports you to the behind the person. Now, you see everyone's cursed, you see how we just like clip through everyone and now we're making a heavy push because of this curse? Well, what we've done is, exactly like I said, we've manipulated the map and we've cursed the enemy. What this does is it reduces everything of theirs to 50% health, and you notice how they're not shooting back? They can't. So their towers are pretty much worthless, which gives us a huge opportunity. Now, if you notice that their enemies are dropping in one hit, now their health isn't reduced by 50%, it's just dropped to one hit. So all you got to do is run up and just hit them, which is what we've done. Now we've got 5 seconds. After this 5 seconds is up, the health returns. So, but notice how we manipulated the map, and we made a giant push, and we went from 2 gates back, or 1 or 2 gates back, and now we're already in their base. We've only actually got 1 more building beyond this to take down to win the match, effectively win the match, but of course it would be wise to take out the others as well. Now notice how we cloaked. Isn't that so cool? We can get away. If we get away for just long enough, we cloak, we can just not be seen. No one can do anything about it. They could try to pull us out with talents, Alright, now what we've done is we've got this double thing. So see how we shot it, we shot it again, and we never came out of stealth. We just took his health down halfway without ever coming out of stealth. So if you think Zeratul's kind of worthless, he's pretty good. He's pretty effective if you play it right. Personally, I like Mirrodin, little dwarf warrior, and I'll show you that gameplay later. If you go on our channel, you can check out the Mirrodin gameplay video if you're interested to see how he plays. It's definitely different. It's definitely a style I like a lot more than Zeratul, but can't deny it, Zeratul is pretty awesome.
An enemy has been slain.
And I don't really play StarCraft, so I apologize if I'm butchering Zeratul's name. Zeratul, or some other name that he might have. But kind of reminds me of how before all the narratives came out in Warcraft, because that's really the game I play heavily, is World of Warcraft. People always pronounce the city names differently. For example, Dalaran and Dalaran. It's funny because there was no standard way of saying it when it first all came out. So when Dalaran was in Hillsbrad, people were always like, "Oh, okay, I'll meet you at Dalaran," and there was no way of knowing that you're butchering the name because there's no standard set. There was no way for us to hear it. Kind of an interesting little social influence, I guess, cultural influence on the vernacular. But so I apologize if I butcher some of these names. But we got Nancy Kerrigan in there, which is awesome. There's Mirrodin, the character I like to play. Uther.
If you wish my blessing, you had better come. As was foreseen.
We just popped our last ability and finally won. So this is Heroes of the Storm. This is pretty cool. That was our Zeratul gameplay for Heroes of the Storm. If you pop into our next video, we're going to show you a cool Mirrodin gameplay. And I'll let you see how the gameplay works. So we will call this video here. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. The next video we'll upload it and we'll have it back to back is going to be our Mirrodin gameplay video. So thanks again for watching, and you all take care.